Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. We are back, Volume 3 of Survivor 1 through 50, and we're hitting the Survivor Dark Ages with Survivor Nicaragua. Jonathan is back, and Lucas is joining the Tribe of Nerds. Welcome, Lucas.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. So, it's maybe not the most pleasant way to meet, to get into these negative seasons, but we'll do the best with what we can. So to start it off, why did you guys want to discuss Survivor Nicaragua?
Well, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Jake, someone's got to do the dirty work around here, So, but seriously though, I think it's a fascinating take on like maybe what can we find about this season to see if there's anything redeemable about it that we actually like. Because I know that Nicaragua has gotten a lot of hate over the years, whether rightfully so or not. Probably more so than not. But as I was rewatching episodes or scenes from the season, there were some very interesting parts that happened in it, or people that were playing in it that made it much more compelling than I gave it credit for. So looking forward to kind of talk about certain people in this season.
For sure, Lucas.
Yeah, as a football fan, Jimmy Johnson, great football coach. I love to talk about anything sports, and this season's got a little bit of that. So that's kind of what draws me to the season, as well as just the social aspects. We have an amputee for I believe it was the first time we have an amputee on this season.
So, second time, because Chad and Brenda.
Oh, Chad, that's right. Yeah, second time amputee. So just seeing that and the reactions we get from that from her tribe mates early in that is another key thing I like in the season. And then just how it ends with the Fabio immunity run and winning the game off that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some interesting stuff for sure. As we get into, I am a big Marty Piombo fan, so he's one of my favorite forgotten one-time players that we will likely never see again at this point. But
I liked him. I thought he was good. He was one of my favorite contestants on the season. There were a couple really I think good contestants on the season, but there was just a lot of big moments that came out of left field that may have overshadowed some brighter moments in this season.
Yeah, I agree. So this season, this was not where I started my watch. I started my watch the very next season, for the very first time. So this was actually the last season I caught up on when I first started watching.
Wow.
So
flip.
Yeah.
Start with Nicaragua or Redemption Island?
Yeah.
Tough.
I do remember my mom talking about the show Survivor, and I do kind of remember seeing clips of this season when it was on, but I didn't actually watch it. But I think I do remember watching Wendy Joe walk down the cemetery or something at one point. I don't know why, but I think I remember certain little bits of it. But that's how I knew about it, and eventually would just search it up on demand to find Redemption Island and then start watching it live. So
was it on demand?
No, I don't think it was actually on demand.
It was actually really easy to watch this.
Yeah. But we've already kind of touched on the cast. I mean, it's a cast. They do split them up by old versus young. So you have 10 people 40 and older, 10 people 30 and younger. So, I mean, thoughts on the rest of the cast?
Like you said, it's a cast.
It's a good age break on Tribe Division, I think. With it 30, the last time they did old young, there was kind of some people that were put in old that could have been put in young, and so this time I thought they did do a better job at that old young breakup with it being 40 and 30.
Yeah, and wasn't this the third time they had? No, not the third time. I think it said it was they had taken a 3-season break of doing a. I think I'm getting too far ahead of myself, maybe with the tribe swap, or maybe it was breaking it into old versus young. I think it had been a minute since they had done one of those two things.
I forgot Panama did it for one episode, so it's the second time.
I think I'm getting my facts mixed up. But it was like you said, it's a cast. But again, there are some very. I think I was going into this season knowing the reputation about it and not knowing what to expect with certain people. But as the season progressed, there were some bright spots with certain characters. I liked Marty, even though people were he's the guy that you love to hate, but he's the the super strategical guy that's like always in a hole trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Yeah.
I really did like Fabio. I like Benry. I mean, there were some good people in there that were just getting sloshed around with some other individuals.
Yeah. Lucas, any other thoughts on this cast?
I mean, the two Jimmys and the two Kellys. Did casting want to make this confusing? Because it sure felt like it.
Yeah. Well, imagine if they casted like Jimmy John, you know?
Yeah. Well, we should bring up a couple things. So, Jimmy T actually, I believe he won like a Sears fan competition to get on the show or something. So that's an interesting thing. The other person that won it was Rick Nelson in South Pacific. So, very odd selection there from the fans for Sears.
The more you know about like, see that's what I like about you, Jake. You always come out with like these crazy facts that I don't know about. Like, apparently this person got on because they knew so and so, or they were in a series competition and they got on instead of just being generically recruited.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and then Chase Rice obviously went on to be a country music star.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Chase more as we go on. Brenda's the only returnee from this season, and then the other thing I had is Benry, I guess, dated Flick from Australian Survivor, the first Flick, not the one from King George's season, the other one.
There's two Flicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently that's something I didn't find out until like 2016, 2017, something like that. But it's very, very weird.
Gotcha.
All right. So that's the fun facts I have. I mean, in general, yeah, we'll get to kind of the not so great members of the cast probably pretty quickly.
I think pretty I think we're gonna see it immediately.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in with the Medallion of Power twist. So everybody gets told there's a medallion in the trees. Let's go find it. Brenda ends up finding the Medallion of Power. They'll later find out it's an advantage for challenges because they want to help the old people out any way they can. And this is one of the worst twists in Survivor history that they quickly abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
True that.
Yeah.
Oh,
you go, Lucas. You go.
Because it goes 4 episodes? Yeah, you're good, Jonathan. It just goes 4 episodes. Yeah. And what's crazy is they wanted it to help the old people, but they put it in a tree for the young person to climb. Like make that make sense to me. I mean, Brenda uses her cheerleader skills, gets up there. We've seen those cheerleaders get up a couple of times, in sports. But it's just kind of funny that they made it as an advantage for the old people, and yet they put it in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a decision.
Was it a low-hanging tree or was it like high up there? I can't remember.
It's not like low. I mean, it's not like
if Fabio couldn't get up there, then I don't think Marty's getting up there or something like that.
Jimmy Johnson's definitely not.
Jimmy Johnson
ain't getting up that tree.
Yeah, so we get that, and then we're gonna get to our camp, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's Jimmy Johnson!" And Jimmy Johnson starts like basically, giving these pep talks, and I don't know. I always watching this season. I liked Jimmy Johnson watching him. I mean, I knew he probably wasn't gonna last long, but I was excited. Just like his energy came off, and I'm not a big sports guy, but like it just he filled the room. So
he was clearly there for, I think, like the adventure aspect of Survivor. And I think, I mean, when you're in the Hall of Fame, when it comes to NFL, you're probably going to get a fast track to be on Survivor. So, but it was nice though that he was like actually like a fan and wanted to be there. But I think he did expect that I'm here for a good time, not a long time in the series. And so he kind of became this person that people would go talk to because he knows I'm not taking this like seriously at all, kind of thing, especially with like Holly later on.
Yeah, we'll get there. Lucas, any other thoughts on Jimmy Johnson?
It was he starts his huddles, he does his coaching thing. As a coach myself, I know how that is. You get in there, you want to have your team strong for that first part of the game, and he really tried, but he kind of was put in a spot. I think if he's put with a couple younger people where he can actually lead, I think that he almost might turn into like a Mike White later.
Yeah,
like it gets a lot further based off that start. But we also some early highlights from that Espada. We get the first alliance between Holly and Wendy, and that didn't last long.
Mhm.
That wasn't an omen for this season. I don't know what is. And then we get Jane starting a fire
Yes.
without plant. I'm like with the glasses. So that was pretty impressive in that
Mhm.
first 30 minutes too.
Yeah, and obviously, we've Jane has unfortunately just passed away recently. And Jane is such a good character on this season. She's lovely. And I think it's funny, it's great storytelling when she starts the fire and then she's the one who puts it out when she leaves.
Mhm. I started this. Oh, God, I'm finishing it. Throws it in there. Have fun.
Yeah.
Like walks out.
Yeah. I've always been like high on Jane. I can understand why
Yeah.
she wins fan favorite. So she's a great casting choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that stuff happens, and I will talk about Wendy Joe shortly, but then the LaFleur tribe, we get Chase basically getting pulled into different alliances, one with Brenda, and Brenda's like flirting with him, and then one by Shannon, and Chase is obviously going to find out that he's at least going to make the right choice there, aligning with Brenda, not with Shannon.
100%.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, we'll get to Shannon. He does name drop Boston Rob and Russell in Heroes versus Villains, as they should have worked together. I will probably agree with that.
Yeah, that's as far as we'll go. Well, that's as far as we'll go with that.
All right, we do get that first challenge, and I guess I've heard stories of like with the gutter and stuff. Apparently, they wanted it to be like a gutter where like you kind of line them up like how a gutter would go down and then into the next one, and the players like cheated the system or like figured a loophole out and did like the slide instead, and that's not what was intended. So yeah, so I don't know.
That's another notch on Nicaragua on why it doesn't stand the test of time.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, even the Medallion of Power being here, I mean, it does only get used twice, but I mean,
and it only lasted for like what, 4 episodes?
Yeah, 4. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they realized how bad it was immediately.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, so the LaFleur tribe, the younger tribe. Oh, we should also mention their cute little march that into the challenge.
Oh my goodness.
And my favorite part is Jeff's reaction. He's just like, okay.
He's like, okay. I'm sure at one season he goes like, wow. He's like, that's it. Like just one worded responses.
All right. Well, yeah. Anything else about this challenger, this cute little march?
No. Nothing. I got nothing.
I mean, we did have the puzzle. We did have all women on the puzzle. I feel like that's something that we normally get, but just an interesting dynamic socially from there. But that's all I had on that.
That is pretty interesting.
And Espada not using Medallion's power as well, being like, we can show those young people that we don't need help. And then it was like, meh. I was like, oh.
I would have just used it just to gain any sort of numbers immediately.
Yeah, like you get like an advantage in the game, and like you can openly, it's like you either choose to openly play this or not. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna use this immediately, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, so Espada is going to lose, and then basically Wendy Joe is going to get immediately ostracized from the tribe. And we are going to get to tribal council, and this is Wendy Joe going crazy and deciding to like talk her way out of the game, which she was probably going anyway, but she doesn't do herself any favors.
Yeah. And they gave her that edit where she said like, oh, like my biggest weakness is my mouth kind of thing, or it's like I over talk too much or whatever. And she said, I'm going to try not to do that. And I don't know how much she did that before they went to the challenge, and if that was her strategy, not to do it, but they lose the challenge anyways. And afterwards, I don't know if she just continued to talk more, and that's what caused the ostracization, or it was just like, nah, like it's just it doesn't matter if she's like trying not to talk too much, we're still going to vote her out, like anyways. But that at the end of the trial council, it was like, I'm a good leader, I'm a good friend, it's just everything that you want in an ally in Survivor.
She has blisters on her feet.
And she's got blisters on her feet too. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, it's very funny. And she's like, I got the nickname of Chatterbox, and everybody's reaction, and then you get yeah, Tyrone is like underrated in confessionals too in his short stay. Like his voting confessional for Wendy. No, after all your excuses tonight, Wendy Joe, you gotta go.
Wendy Joe, you gotta go.
Gotta go. Yeah, I had that on my notes too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Wendy's the first boot. She never was gonna do well in this game, but like as a character, I think she's funny. And it's also just kind of sad that her husband told her she'd be the first one out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
That's pretty bad when like it's like, yeah, everyone that was supposed to be rooting for me back home told me I was gonna be the first one voted out, or I'm not gonna do good at the game at all. It's like, gee, thanks for the support. And then you go and like do the game and like it actually happens. And I'm like, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's like, damn, that was like great. But yeah, Wendy Joe, she gotta go.
Yeah. Well, Wendy's gone. Let's get to episode 2, and I think
everyone's favorite.
Yeah, let's talk about so I mean we also get the breakout episode. Naonka starts going Naonka.
Yeah.
It's basically it.
Good way to put it.
She does start yelling at Fabio, who up to this point we did get his opening confessional, which was really good, of like they started calling me Fabio, they think I'm dumb, and they're gonna underestimate me, and I guess my nickname's Fabio.
And I'm sure it has stuck ever since.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point.
Shannon coined the nickname, right? That's how we know.
Yeah, ironically enough, Shannon did coin the nickname.
That's how we knew it was coming.
There is something good about this. There's something positive that you can find out of this experience.
Yeah, but so Naonka basically gets mad at Fabio for her stealing his socks.
Reverse accusation. It's like, did you steal my socks? No. Are you accusing me of stealing your socks? I don't know what went down, man, but it's not looking good.
Yeah,
for the whole situation.
We do get Naonka and Sash talking about a minority alliance with Brenda too, and that before all the sock issues happened. So Naonka did have a little positive before she went total negative.
Yeah, she did have some strategy. I will give Naonka credit there. She did have a game, but
yeah, it was very much like an extreme game that like went to like one end that definitely did benefit her for like a very long time in the game up to a point, and we all know the point that we're going to talk about at some point. But it is interesting how with some players it seems to like benefit them just to go absolute crazy in the game, and it's like it's almost like you got to figure out like what works best for you as a player. Like sometimes it's like if you're good at like laying low under the radar and that gets you far in the game, you should probably do that instead of pretending to be this force in the game, because it's probably not going to work, and vice versa with any other strategy kind of thing. So to me, it always blows my mind when I watch seasons like this and you see like a player that would normally get voted out early for this type of behavior but just goes on a run for a big portion of the game kind of thing. So to each their own.
Yeah, to each their own. Yeah, so that happens. LaFleur does lose the challenge, and yeah, now we're gonna get to tribal, and we are going
Wait. Are we skipping the best part of the season right here? The alligator shoes going in.
Oh my God, we do have to talk about that. We do have to talk about that.
Alligator shoes.
Yeah, I was gonna stick to LaFleur, but let's just bring up the alligator shoes now. So Holly goes crazy. She thinks everybody's talking shit about her. We didn't really talk to her about this part. This is another question we probably should have asked her, but she probably gets it a lot. But she thinks Dan is talking shit about her. Dan brought $1,600 alligator shoes into the jungles of Nicaragua. I don't know why you would do that, but so to get back at Dayon, Holly takes his shoes and throws them in the water, fills them with sand. Boom.
Wow.
Just like that.
But then she gets a talking to from Jimmy Johnson. So it's just like that's like what he's good at. And I think that talk helped Holly out tremendously for the rest of the game. kind of
I
thing.
did too. And I mean, it keeps her in the game too.
Keeps her in the game. And I think that's another thing that I was like, oh, that I discovered about this season, even though we talk so much crap about it. I'm like, oh, it does show how this game affects people mentally. Whether you play this like online or in like on a campus somewhere, or you go to the actual island of Fiji to do this, there's one constant in all those formats, and it's the paranoia, it's the mental, I don't know if I can trust this person, I don't know if they're talking about me, and how overwhelming it can be when nothing's happening, when you're just left alone with your thoughts somewhere. And so I was like, oh, that's like, even though we go crazy negative on this season, it's like, I think this is a good season to kind of show that, like how far you can go mentally in a game like this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Holly's redemption arc in this season is I think her storyline, she's one of the best characters. I was very happy to get to talk to her. So yeah, I like, just for her to have a complete rebound because of Jimmy Johnson, like, it's just great.
It's kind of reminiscent to what like Andy would go through in like 47. So she's kind of like the OG Andy in a way.
Yeah, very much so. So yeah, she's gonna have this moment. She is gonna tell Dan, I love her. She just puts her hand on his knee, like his bad knee, and it's just like,
I gotta tell you something.
Yeah, and then Dan's like, if she was a man, I would have smacked her.
I think he says knife. I'm pretty sure he says I would have knifed her. That's what I had. I would have knifed. I'm like, that's really real. That's when Mob Boss Dan came out right there.
Yeah, well, Jimmy T calls him a mafia boss in like the opening first impressions, and like, Dan is like slick back hair in the beginning, has like the black clothes with like the expensive shoes. Like, yeah, he's definitely a mafia boss.
He's from New York, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I believe Dan Lembo has also since passed away, unfortunately. But he was a fun character, honestly. Just because this is someone that shouldn't have been out there, but he was.
Then he made the best of his situation.
Yeah. Okay, so that moment is now talked about. I'm sure we'll get more moments coming up. And yeah, so let's get to LaFleur's tribal council. This is where everything goes crazy. Shannon calls out Chase for playing both sides and wanting to work with Brenda, or getting her pants, basically, is what Shannon calls it. And then Fabio and Naonka fight. What?
She did have him by the cojones.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Even though he denies it, even though he denied it at the time, which is weird, because this whole tribal council, this whole moment, like, really came out of like left field.
Oh yeah.
Because I knew, like, in the beginning, I thought, like, oh, like, this Shannon guy I think he's probably going to go far or something like that. And he's linking up with Chase, and it's like the alpha kind of male thing. Like, there's these bordering alliances that they're all making. And then somewhere along the way, there was like this weird mistrust that just like happened between like Shannon and Chase. And then the sides are formed. We're thinking that it's going to go to rocks or it's going to be a deadlock. And then just like out of nowhere, like we take a left turn and it's like, oh shit. And then what happens. So
yeah, we'll get there in a second. Naonka and Fabio also fight. My favorite Jeff commentary on this is do you like Fabio? She's like, no, and like, or I don't want to be up in that tree. He's like, Fabio, she don't like you.
She don't like you. Poor Fabio.
Yeah, I don't even like, this is so odd, and considering that Naonka is also going to vote Fabio to win.
Yeah, like Fabio, I love how he's just like, he's sort of just perceived as like this lovable goofball that's just like, what did I do? Like, I'm just here, man. Like, it's like insane, but like it goes the way that goes with that relationship.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. And then obviously the big moment, then Sash obviously tells Shannon that he's digging his own grave. Shannon's like, hey, let me get this out of the way right now. Are you gay? Out of nowhere. And
that was
what? I was like,
the controversial moments that are in this season is crazy. I didn't realize that until I started watching it again. I was like, wow, there's a lot of things in this season that controversy.
Because it's so weird that like that to me that happened just like in general, because I did not expect that to happen at all. I'm like, they're normally bantering and going back and forth, and then like Shannon kind of just comes out of nowhere with like this, I'm gonna dig myself in a grave, and it's like when you didn't really need to, and it's like, dude, like what are you doing? And then it's like it goes the way that it goes, and then that happens, and it's like, geez, like he really did not like want to work with these people. Like even in like his outro, he was like, I should have been on the old person tribe because I'm like older than these people anyways. But it was weird how like that, it was just such an anomaly to me. Like, whoa, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was bad. And then, then he doubles down, says New York is full of a bunch of gay people. Jeff's obviously is just shell shocked at this point.
He's like, is this happening? Yeah, flabbergasted.
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yep. And then Shannon gets voted out. Sash does get the nice comeback of you messed with the biggest bachelor in New York. As they say in New York, hasta la vista, baby. So Shannon's gone. I'm if we were doing least favorite player, I would definitely put Shannon.
Yeah.
Definitely did not age well. Even though I watched this season like 13 or 14 years, probably 12 years after it aired, and I was like, that's not good. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Yep. All right, episode 3. So this is the one with the barrel challenge, and you have Jimmy T like begging Jimmy Johnson to put him in coach.
The Super Bowl episode.
Yeah. I don't know, Jimmy T. This is where we start his downfall arc, and like I do feel bad because it seems like Jimmy T is actually a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But he definitely, I think his insecurities were just coming out of like he really just wants to be there and play the game, and feels like he's not being given the shot. So
there can only be one Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like, both of them are going to go one Jimmy.
Both of them are going to go out back to backs.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a lawn Jimmy versus Jimmy battle there.
The Jimmy Royale. Oh, it's the Super Bowl of Jimmys.
Yeah. So the floor wins again, and then we also get the moment, of course, of Naonka tackling Kelly B for the clue, smushing all the fruit, and it's crazy how she just tackled a woman with one leg.
Yeah, it's one thing in the game where like I'm sure this has happened like a lot, just like normally chase after advantages and beat someone to something or this and that, but then it's like you get to this point, it's like I'm gonna push someone that's missing a leg over for a clue in the game. It's like I got no shame at this point, and just like take it.
Yeah.
And then benefiting from it as well. So it's like crazy.
Yeah, I think it is crazy how like Naonka really makes it as far as she does after doing this.
Yeah, and I wonder if that like would eventually become, because once we get to a certain point in the game, and because the way that she was acting like at the time, like in the game, that they're like, well, she's gonna be like a goat here. Like we're just gonna, because we know that everyone here does not like her, so we're just gonna go as far as we can with her. Which sometimes when you're playing like this game, and it's like people are willing to, despite how kind of bad they're acting, like you're willing to put up with that, because it's like I know it's what are you valuing at this point? Like, I'm willing to keep this person around because I know no one's going to vote for them, but are they like that toxic? It's because she eventually quits along with Purple Kelly at later on in the game.
Yeah,
but we've seen this moment in different types of games where you're like, oh, do I want to just risk taking this person, or is it just the risk isn't worth the reward keeping this person around, kind of thing? If that makes any sense from a player standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm always interested too. Like, if she doesn't quit, does she get a different edit?
Being a
black young female, I know a lot of times, like especially back in the earlier seasons, the edits showed a little bit differently than they would show for someone different. All right. So I'm wondering if in a season where she doesn't quit, kind of like Purple Kelly, is the edit completely different? And then what does that do? Like, was it really that bad? I mean, was the tussle really that bad, or did the edit make it look that bad? Because we get the whole pre-up to the edit with the confessionals, that also affects on how bad the edit could have made that little tussle look, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard too. Was like because she quit, they kind of gave her a bad edit in the season, which made it like look a lot worse. And maybe it's left up for interpretation of like what was really true, what wasn't true. Like if you're only showing someone's bad highlight reels, and you're gonna get like maybe a very bad perception of them. But like I try not to judge too harshly. But at the time, I'm sure it was not good overall from a season perspective as a viewer, definitely.
Yeah. Yep. Agree with that. So yeah, then Jimmy Johnson is going to end up getting voted out. He does openly admit to being the weakest link on the tribe, and he is unanimously sent home. So it's unfortunate to lose Jimmy Johnson this early. Especially because he was a big fan too, and it just wasn't like he wanted to actually get on the show. But I don't know. I from what I heard, and Holly said it, like he was actually very sick out there. So but oh well. Goodbye, Jimmy Johnson. So now we're gonna get the full downfall of Jimmy T and Marty's power trip. As Marty does find an idol, Jill like points him to it, and he's like, "I got the idol," or "We got the idol."
We got the idol. We got it.
I love Marty's little power trip. Also, like, we're gonna point out how Marty's hair just consistently gets like worse and worse.
Oh my goodness. Crazy.
He actually sort of does end up looking like a grandmaster of chess.
Yeah.
At some point, like his hair just keeps getting like crazier and crazier.
Yeah. I'm a huge Marty fan, so like he's a great like villain for like the first half of this season.
Oh yeah.
But so Marty goes on his power trip. Basically, him and Jimmy T start fighting. Jimmy T calls him a preppy little bitch. Oh my god. And then we get to they lose again, and they go to tribal, and Marty just goes off on Jimmy T, saying there's no need for popping off delusions of grandeur. Like, jeez. So Jimmy
the crazy thing is how much they practice for this challenge, and they still lose. Like,
yeah, and like they claim like the Medallion of Power made all the difference. I honestly, as Jeff pointed out, I honestly think the older tribe still would have lost.
Yeah.
So
it literally gets canned after this episode, so it's like, where do you? Do?
I'm okay with that.
And I think everyone was okay with that. We're just like, we're just gonna move on.
Yeah, this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right. So Jimmy T is gonna get voted out despite his like him wanting to change, like saying he will change. But I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering like if Dan does go here, how that changes the dynamics of the season. That's another what if Shane and I could look into, because I do think like if Marty doesn't go on his little power trip here and we have Jimmy T in there, I definitely think like I guess Jimmy T would have been in place of Dan on the new Espada. So
probably would have been a little bit more chaotic, and he might have not have gone as far again. He probably would have just rubbed more people the wrong way, and it would have been like we've had too much Jimmy on this season, so it's time to move on a little bit. But I don't know. We'll never know. That is a good one.
We could have picked different too. You know, somebody could have picked. I don't know. Remember who got picked from the draft, but it could have been a different pick too.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Imagine if Jimmy Johnson was there for the draft.
Oh my god.
And the first round pick goes to. I was like,
all right, so so now we're gonna get to the swap, and what is it? Holly and Brenda. are the two captains. So they end up picking. So Holly ends up taking Chase, Benry, Alina, and Naonka over, and then Brenda ends up taking Marty, Jill, and Jane over. So basically now we're gonna get Marty is still going on a power trip, despite the fact that he probably shouldn't be doing this, where he goes to camp and right away shows everybody he has the idol, which is just Marty, what are you doing?
Showing them that he had the idol, and I see all their looks on their faces, and I'm like, I know that look. It's like it's a universal look in Survivor. Whenever you tell a group of people you have an advantage, there's that awkward silence, and everyone just starts doing this. They're like, their eyes go everywhere, and you're like, this is Don't tell anybody that you have an advantage in the game.
And he hangs it up in the tree.
I think he was trying to like Terry Dietz it a little bit and be like, Terry did it so well the first time, but people didn't know what to do with it back then. But nowadays it's season 21. They're people are familiar with idols and how they work at this point.
Right. And so then on Espada, Tyrone is basically calling the shots. And so then the younger people are like, we don't want to listen to Tyrone. So, I don't know. I just don't think they wanted to listen to anybody. So. But yeah, that Espada tribe does lose the challenge, which this is a crazy challenge where they have like them strapped to a wheel, and it happens in Redemption Island too.
Oh yeah,
they like have to drink the water as they're going through, and then spit it into a thing, and
the drowning challenge, as they like to call it.
Yeah, because they almost LaFleur almost accidentally drowns Brenda.
So just like keep it like underwater, and like someone they hate, and they're just like, yeah, okay.
I can see why they got rid of this challenge.
Oh man.
So bad.
All right, so yeah, the Espada tribe loses, and Tyrone is going to end up going after Naonka. She wants to quit earlier in the game.
So foreshadowing.
So foreshadowing. Chase does give this really nice story about his dad. So I don't know. I've always liked Chase. Yeah, he was very wishy-washy and paranoid throughout the entire game. But again, I will also kind of defend Chase in this season a bit as a player.
I always thought that, like, I mean, as we progressed through the season with him, like, he would seem a little wishy-washy, and they're like, oh, he's just like with Brenda because of like whatever. But then he was also another out of left field moment for me in the finale. Like, he's turned into like a completely different person. He's like, oh yeah, like I owned all that. I'm like, who are you again? Like, well, you're not like wishy-washy Chase that we've been like dealing with. It's like you're like confident Chase now, which continues at the reunion and to this day with them. And I'm like, was that all just like an act that you're pretending to be like this guy? I don't know, Brenda, like I love you. And it's like, I know he didn't say that, but like he was like, that's not the point. But it was just like he did a whole 180 at the end.
Right.
So, but we had to have a good moment with him, and at this point in the game, which shows that he is capable of, doing great things in the world of Survivor.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, Tyrone's gonna go. Benry's amazing confessional where he says, time to dethrone the king of Espada. Benry's here, baby, and knocks over the paperweight.
I totally forgot about Benry. When I was doing my part of the rewatch, I was like, oh, I forgot about Benry. Of course, there's a good spot in this season. There's another likable character.
Yeah, he has some fun moments. I mean, and he's good at the challenges, and then I think the rest of his arc is just getting clowned on by Jeff.
Yeah, getting clowned. Yeah,
that's a good arc sometimes. Yeah, TV time, right?
Yeah. But yeah, Tyrone's gonna go, and I think we can kind of hit this episode now, the double boot episode, because this is where Kelly Bruno is gonna go. Yeah. Basically, Jill wins immunity, so they have to split the votes between Marty and somebody else. In the meantime, we also have Marty revealing he's a grandmaster at chess to Fabio. Guillermo Vilas, who is a tennis player, not a chess player, but it's so hilarious. This is one of my favorite moments in the season. Probably my favorite moment in the season, honestly.
Yeah, to me, like anytime I saw Marty and Fabio talk, I thought it was like the greatest thing ever. Because you have someone that the perception is that they are like this extremely smart savant person talking to Fabio, which is like a good contrast where he's like, dude, that's like awesome, man. And the way that like the season ends makes it even more like glorious when Marty's like, dude, like you're the man. Like I was like, yeah, okay, like there is some dynamic there that I thought was very enjoyable between the two of them.
Yeah, I agree. I also wonder if like this conversation actually, because the way I took it is that I guess Fabio must have really vouched to keep Marty in the game because of this. just because like I can't really see any other reason like other than okay, we don't trust Kelly B. Brenda and Sash don't trust Kelly B. But then also like Fabio's really pushing to keep Marty. I don't know. Like
I think that, because even that probably obviously did have an effect in the end when Marty voted, but it seemed like Fabio was the only person that was like kind of ironically like taking Marty serious when he was at the end of his rope, when he's like trying to find leverage in the game. And the one person that's kind of throwing him a lifeline is like the surfer dude, right? That he's like, oh yeah. And then he's kind of playing it up with Fabio. And then it goes the way it goes at the end of the season. And then he sees him at the end. He's like, that kid's a lot smarter than you give him credit for. Like he, duped me kind of, or like he made it farther than me. So that kind of maybe level of individual respect existed between them, like at that time, even though when everyone's trying to get rid of Marty.
Yeah, for sure. Lucas?
Yeah, I just think it's like weird that they took Kelly B out instead of Marty. Like Marty's obviously the better player. He's obviously had been proving that through challenges. I feel like taking the lead, and I feel like that's just it was a weird, awkward turn that you forget happens.
It was like by the skin of his teeth too. They were like, no, it's like we know that he's this super strategical person, but like he's a super strategical person that like nobody likes, kind of thing. Whereas Kelly was like, when she gets to the end, she's gonna win $1 million because she has a prosthetic leg, which is like, So by the skin of his teeth, he makes it through this. And was it this one or the next one when he gives Sash?
It's the next episode, unless they kind of edited it. Because my other thought is maybe him and Sash made the deal this round and they saved it for next episode. That's my other thought of why they split and then save Marty, because otherwise it just makes no sense. Other than Sash, he made the deal with Sash, or Fabio also pushed for him to stay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I definitely would have if someone doesn't play their idol and our plan is to flush it. I definitely would have voted him out. But oh well. All right. I mean, that's basically the highlights of the pre-merge that I can remember.
And E was the second part of the double, right? That she went out to. She was just like, I believe she was just like on the outs at that point.
Yeah, on the outs of the Tyrone vote, and like they just didn't.
They needed
to work with her.
Yeah, it was either her or Dan, and they were gonna go with her. I love the eating at Tribal Council, eating and watching Tribal Council. I love love that effect.
Just all you hear in the background is like,
and they
it's like,
and this is like something they keep like every 20-person season, because it's like Cook Islands, Samoa, Heroes versus Villains, Nicaragua.
They did it for Palau.
And Palau. So I mean. That was technically, I guess you could say it's 18, but it did technically start with 20. So
we all love Palau. Palau's the real season with 20 people on it.
So every season with 20. We're at this point. So that is the pre-merge. We do lose Jill as well. Jill was another player who I think definitely had potential. She just got put in a really tough spot, got screwed, and Marty obviously made the deal with Sash. So
that was the big thing to kind of cap off the pre-merge, was like you said, like this was the episode that right before the pre-merge, Marty gives his idol to Sash, or just to keep him for like maybe like one more round kind of thing. And they're like, well, we know what to expect from Marty. And Jill's like with him in an alliance, and so it'd be easier just to take out his one other half in the game before the merge.
Yeah, and we almost got Jill to hop on an interview with us, but it kind of fell through. So we were trying to get Jill. Unfortunately, didn't happen. But as of now, but all right, we get our merge. We get Libertad as the merge tribe name, which. It works. I mean, it's again.
What does it rank for you, Jake, on your merge? You don't sound too enthused about it.
I don't think it's my favorite, but it's definitely not one of the worst. Like, I feel like you have a good strain of merge tribe names from like Token Teens up through. I mean, Redemption Islands is pretty funny too, because Boston Rob just lets them to name it. I always like when someone names it something ridiculous. But like, I don't know, this fits like where they're at. So and Marty names it. So
that's even better. Yeah.
All right, so then we're gonna get Alina and Naonka stealing food. And Alina takes the fall for it. So that's a bit crazy to me that Naonka can just blame everything on Alina.
And it work out.
Yeah.
What a great move, you know?
Yeah. I deliberately think, because Naonka talks about she wants Alina to be the next one to go. So I think she deliberately brought Alina in to like eat food and then get her blamed for it. So
yeah, that's just I can't even I honestly think Naonka would have like made it to the final 3 if she didn't quit. I honestly think because the way that it was going was like she's doing all these things and people are like, we're okay with it, or like we're secretly not okay with it, but we know that no one's going to vote for her in the end. So we're like, we'll just take someone else out, kind of thing. So it blows my mind sometimes in Survivor.
Yeah. Well, and we see it with all the quote unquote smart players trying to protect her in this episode.
Yeah.
And distancing themselves. Like Brenda, Sash, Chase even, which Chase was just with Brenda, but they knew that they wanted to go with her. And so we see in this episode really well. With the whole thing.
Yeah. We also get the Marty versus Jane at Tribal Council here. Marty just starts calling Jane out for absolutely no reason, especially because Jane has immunity, so it just comes off really badly here.
Yeah, his hair is even longer at this point.
Yeah, I'm just like, Marty, what are you doing? He's like, Jane's gonna win. I'm gonna vote for her.
Yeah,
like we all need to get rid of her, and it's like, dude, this is a bad idea. So, but this is going to lead to my favorite Jane quote next episode, where she calls Marty Mr. Farty.
Mr. Farty.
I like this little rivalry. It's really funny to me. Like the take no shit redneck woman
Jane versus the preppy fake grandmaster of chess Marty with his super spiky hair.
Yeah,
and it's like it's amazing. There's a lot of counterbalance here with certain contestants.
Yeah. So we are gonna get the boys going on the reward, trying to get on the zip line, trying to get Stash to join them, which is it's just so funny that Marty just tries to get this little rebellion together that's gonna completely blow up in his face. But
another great move from Chase here, though, when he picks the women over the men, he knows that's where his allegiances lie.
Yeah,
that's another big move in his game, another notch in his belt right here that I think gets underlooked.
Agreed. Yeah, this is a great move from Chase for sure, because he's gonna keep the trust of Jane and Holly, who are gonna be like super important to his game. Obviously, Brenda, and then Naonka. I mean, obviously, she's gonna give him her idol. So
eventually, oh wow.
Yeah, and then Purple Kelly's there too.
and Purple Kelly's there.
We'll go into the behind the scenes once we get to the double quit episode.
Yeah,
because there is some behind the scenes.
There is tea.
Yeah. So, so Brenda's gonna win the memory challenge, and then Marty's pretty much screwed. Continues to go after Jane. Basically has this plan to flush Naonka's idol and blindside Jane, but that completely blows up, and then Naonka just starts blowing up on everybody at Tribal, is like, basically tells Marty to F off. At one point she's like, his walk irritates me, then Marty like walks back really funny from the booth.
They're just trolling each other at this point.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah. But we're gonna lose Marty here, unfortunately.
You could say checkmate.
Checkmate, yeah. Yeah. I'm sad to lose Marty this early, but and also I think for Brenda, because Brenda and Sash are the swing votes, for Brenda, this is definitely the wrong move in my opinion. So because if you keep Marty to piss everybody off, then you're not gonna be the target the next round.
Yeah, I wonder if like Brenda thought that was just like she just was so embedded socially that she was not going to. That I remember they would bring up going into the next episode, like you needed to hustle or you needed to scramble. Yeah, scramble. That need to like maybe I don't want to scramble because it would look like I'm desperate, so I'm just going to trust in what I have, which for her is almost like a night and day difference from what she does here. Going forward into her returning season in Caramoan too.
Yeah. Brenda for me is interesting. I honestly think Brenda's an overrated player. That's probably a very hot take. I just think like she has the skill set to be a really good player, and here she gets way too overconfident and decides she's too proud to scramble. So in a position where I think she could have saved herself had she gone and gotten the numbers back on her side, but she doesn't do that. And then Caramoan, she just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, I think she's like she acts like a completely different person in Caramoan. I wonder if it's because like she saw this and was like, oh my god, I look like I'm just so mean or something like that. And then she kind of does this take where she seems very positive and like friendly in Caramoan.
Yeah, well, I remember that when her dad came in Caramoan, she like, Daddy, I've been humble. Like
stuff like that.
She definitely took this into account for her second game, which unfortunately wasn't as good for the audience.
Yeah, especially getting asked back. I think like as a character for her, I mean, like we can talk all day about like her as a player, but I think as a character for her, she did get some type of closure in her second outing kind of deal too. And she made Jeff cry.
She did make Jeff cry.
The first person to make Jeff cry. And I'm like, Jeff. Jeff, come on. Let's go.
Yeah. I also really like Holly in this episode with Holly, her maneuvering to get Brenda out is really, really good too. Mm-hmm. Like this is showing her strategic chops that she's grown into as a player.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also where we get another great Sassy Jeff quote at the reward challenge with the barrels, and Benry does the backflip off of one of the barrels. He's like, Benry making the best move of the challenge, the ceremonial loser dismount.
That is
would you guys think that this is like the we've seen Sassy Jeff come out a little bit more and more up to this point in the series, but do you think this is the season where he's just like full on like F it, like I'm like just so I'm gonna go full sass?
Like, so I think Gabon, because he wanted to quit Gabon, was like he was just tired of it. Then Token Teens, I think he starts like
feeling good.
But he busts coaches balls all the time in Token Teens, and then Heroes versus Villains obviously knows everybody, so he's busting coaches balls more. He's falling in love with Boston Rob.
Anytime I could come back to bust coaches balls, I'm going to be there, kind of thing.
And fight for Boston Rob, even though he couldn't do that. But and then here he's just like he's kind of just tired of it. But at this point, instead of Gabon, where he just that shows, he's just like, okay, I'm just going to be really silly this season.
Yeah, like I'm surprised, like with Jeff, considering how this season was received. And how he was like, he was thinking about quitting after Gabon. And I'm like, I don't even like, who knows like where his headspace was during this period of like seasons kind of thing. I'm like, I'm surprised he didn't like, just like screw it kind of thing, but he kept on keeping on. So
Yep. All right. So Brenda's going to go. Let's get to the double quit episode. And there's still some really hilarious stuff in this episode. And we'll get to the Purple Kelly stuff at the end, but basically we get the Gulliver's Travels Challenge, which this is the era. The Dark Ages are famous for also having movie rewards for movies that are not great movies.
Yeah, they're getting promoted.
So bad.
Gulliver's Travels, they have to carry this dummy through. You have Dan Lembo sitting in the giant chair wiggling his feet, which is hilarious. And then you have the Naonka's team win the reward, and Naonka basically wants to quit. Purple Kelly wants to quit, so they have this tribal council, but Naonka still has the opportunity to give up her reward. Holly gives up hers because their supplies all burned in the fire. We forgot to mention that. The fire burned all their supplies in the last episode. So Naonka gives up, or does not give up. Holly does, and then everybody's like, Naonka, you should have given up, and she just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to do it. Like my mind just kind of like imploded for a second because I forgot how much stuff happened in this episode where it's like oh, we're gonna quit, and you win the reward. And it's like, well, if you're gonna like leave tonight at tribal council, wouldn't you like want to just like you're gonna be eating food anyways, like right afterwards? Wouldn't you want to like give it up? It's like, no, I'm still gonna go do it, which it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling. Did not that was like not if you're trying to give rope to someone to like either potentially like hang themselves as a contestant in the game, or you're trying to be like throw a lifeline, whatever rope you grab, and it's like maybe there's some redeeming quality here, and it's like no, and you just and we went the way that it went. It was edited the way that it was edited, and it ends up being one of the most iconic episodes in Survivor history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, Lucas, on this?
We forgot to mention Jeff offering a tarp and can of rice. I think this is the first time he may negotiate, and that's why Holly steps down. I'm not sure, but I think
Australia had the negotiation, like where with the tarp, where they took Colby's Texas flag back.
Oh
then. Yeah, but it hadn't happened for a while. So
I think it's the first one maybe that he asked for volunteers or something.
Yeah, that's probably correct. Yeah,
it was something like that. But yeah, and that's why she stepped down, and then just Benry telling Naonka to step out, and she still didn't.
Yeah,
which I wonder if it was somebody else that would have told her. Like, I don't know, maybe she would have, but it's weird coming from Benry.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, Benry's been like sort of an NPC except at the challenges.
Yeah, well, it was weird that it was him.
Yeah. And then everybody, I'm pretty sure, is playing up the reactions to the movie. I know South Pacific, they are definitely, I think it's like highly like proven that they were just playing up reactions to Jack and Jill. I'm pretty sure this was the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's like they're like sitting there eating M&Ms, and they're like, "Can I like go back in the woods?"
Yeah.
It's like I would rather go back in the woods and get rained on than sit in and watch this under a canopy.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we're gonna get to the tribal council, and at this point, Naonka and Purple Kelly are both gonna quit. You're gonna have the jury being really upset.
Naonka has already given her idol to Chase at this point, so it's like that's in his pocket going forward, and it happens. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Naonka says she should still get her torch smuffed.
Smuffed?
Yeah, which causes Fabio to crack up, which is hilarious because instead of snuffed.
It's smurfed.
Yeah. So Naonka's gonna go, then Purple Kelly's gonna go right after. So the tea on this is that Purple Kelly was recruited. Holly confirmed it in her interview with us. But she was recruited. They thought she was just going to be the hot young bikini babe. So they're like, okay, we're just going to give you a sundress and a bikini. That's all you're going to get out here. And it's a tropical rainforest. So it's going to rain and storm. And basically, she had no clothes. So she lasted 28 days with basically no clothes, except she would like wear Fabio's jacket. If you look, she's wearing like Fabio's jacket that he's wearing in the beginning of the season. And that's why she votes for him. It's because he was keeping her warm.
See, this is what happens when you give someone their jacket.
Jacket. So basically that's what happened with Purple Kelly, and then she got no edit, and Naonka got the very negative edit. So
do we think Holly quits if Naonka doesn't quit?
Ooh, I think Holly said that Kelly was only going to quit if Naonka did or something.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like, obviously because they both quit, like Naonka gets like more of like the horrible edit with the brunt of the quitting thing, mainly because of like her edit overall as like a character in the season. And then Purple Kelly gets more of like the sidebar diet quit version of like, I'm going to leave if she leaves kind of thing. And then you learn a little bit more about like she was recruited and stuff. And so you're kind of like, yeah, well, she wasn't like running around and being super chaotic like Naonka kind of thing. But again, a quit's a quit, especially if it's a double quit and you're doing it in front of Jeff.
Yeah,
like that's not going to go over well for anybody kind of thing. And he's telling them like their odds in front of their faces, like you have like a 1 in 9 shot from doing this. Are you going to quit? I'm going to quit. Okay, your odds just got better. You have a 1 in 8 shot. Are you going to quit? And I'm like oh boy, like this is like amazing. It's like not good for production, but like as a contestant, I'm like, I just went from like the final 9 to the final 7 in like 5 seconds. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm pretty through at that point. But then they leave, and then that ends up being a thing. And the view of the jury, like Marty's like upset, like Brenda's like upset too. And I was
Lena's
like,
crying.
yeah, they're like, it's that's to me that hits hard a lot when you see people who don't really like want to be there, and like you really want to be there, but you get voted out early, and then you see people who don't really care about the game, but they're just there, and then that happens, and it's like. But when we get to the end of the episode and you ask like, how did this season contribute to Survivor, I'll bring up the whole like, oh, they had to change how the jury system worked for the new rules going forward, which has never been applied yet, thankfully. Knock on wood. So.
Yeah, because all the quits after this have been before the jury. So, which is that is crazy. But goodbye to our quitters, which Jeff brings up as soon as the next tribal council, where he's like, and our quitters, Naonka and Purple County.
Oh, he any time he gets a chance to bring it up, he brings it up, like in the season, whether it's like in Nicaragua or at the reunion. Yeah, it's like it's comical. It's kind of comical in a way, but it's like, don't quit on Survivor.
No,
even if you're having a bad time, don't quit.
Yeah, Jeff absolutely hates it. All right, so I mean, we're basically gonna get the final 7 round. Benry's gonna go because Sash is kind of torn between the two sides, but basically, I mean, he goes with the side that's obviously also tighter because the 3 guys are all going for each other.
Yeah,
Dan and Benry are gonna gun for Fabio. Like, I don't know. This is like an interesting what if, because if they vote out Fabio, does Benry go on the immunity run that Fabio does?
I think he had potential.
For
sure.
Possibly.
Yeah. Benry at one point says he's not good at puzzles though. And at least one of them is a puzzle.
Dude, I'd be like, you're going up against Fabio in a puzzle. I think you'll be fine.
That's well, that's
maybe. I mean, Fabio's done. He put a shield together blindfolded, so I think Fabio is a lot smarter than we give him credit for as a character in the world of Survivor.
Well, and he did come back to win that puzzle at the final 5. Like, that was a complete comeback because he messed up one of the questions and then was behind. So, like, Fabio is way smarter than he's And at one point, like in the season, I think it's the Kelly B tribal, he's literally bringing up Freudian psychology. I'm like, Fabio's dumb.
There's this little there's this little part of me that wished that like he got asked back in like some form or another.
Yeah, he would have been interesting on Winners of War, I think.
Yeah, didn't you say that he was like working out for that and they just like didn't ask, like he was getting ready to expecting to come back, and then like they had already filmed the season and he was just like,
I'm not sure if that's true, but I mean, I could look into that.
That'll be a later what if.
Yeah, that'll be a later what if, because I would like to like think about what ifs if some of the winners who didn't make it did get cast.
Yeah, for sure. But as of right now, Benry is about to exit. This season.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to that episode. So then we get Sassy Jeff in episode 13 a couple times because we get the loved ones coming out, and Chase asks Jeff, what will happen to the people who their loved ones don't get to come to them with them to the reward? And Jeff's like, they will be taken and executed.
Good one. Good one. That's always a good response. He's like, we're gonna take him out back and shoot him. It's like,
Jeff is really loopy at this point.
Oh, he's like, what? He's like, where am I? Like, he's like, we're gonna kill him, Chase. Yeah, it's like that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I don't think New Era Jeff would be doing this, but I don't think he would be making these types of jokes.
Hell no.
No way.
Yeah. So, and then, this is basically Jane's boot episode, and Fabio begins his immunity run. And this is where they basically are like, well, Jane's too big of a threat if she ends up making it, so we got to break our alliance with her. And this is a great reaction from Jane, where they just literally, I mean, she can tell that they're about to, she just flips them off, scratches her nose. And then she's like, you know what? I started the fire. I'm sure as hell going to put it out.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's so good. But but I think at this point we should mention Mortgagegate because this is a big controversy in Survivor history. So the controversy is that Sash went to Jane and promised her he would help her pay his mortgage pay her mortgage if he won. And that's illegal. You cannot share money with other contestants.
Yeah.
So that controversy supposedly applied to why Sash didn't get any jury votes because the jury was told not to vote for Sash.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. It is kind of curious Sash didn't get any votes because I do think a couple people were at least considering voting for Sash, but I also understand. Like, I don't know. I just feel like some of the reactions to like Jane like thinks he's like a slimy river rat, like all back where he came from. Like, I don't know.
He goes from like, or at least the edit perceives him in the beginning like he's going to be this very like kind of savant, charming character that's gonna like, you know, kind of charm his way to the end, and then it sort of just ends up being like he's schemy and he's like he's, you know, slimy and he's this and he's that and he's like kind of smarmy or whatever, and then like they get to the end and he's just viewed as a goat to cap it off compared to Fabio and Chase kind of thing, which is a weird turn of events. But if Mortgagegate is true, then it would kind of make sense if they're like, yeah, don't vote for him because that's illegal kind of thing.
Yeah.
We also get the end of the immunity idols. There was like 4 of them, but they didn't really do anything this whole season.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, and this is also one of those few moments where Jeff only just reads the Jane votes. Doesn't even try to read her vote for Sash, which again kind of speaks to, I believe they had like the voting confessionals, like the full ones on like the DVDs and stuff, and I believe this one on Nicaragua's DVD is just like sped through and not actually like showing the full confessionals. So at this point I think something happened. So Jane is going to go. And we also do get the other Sassy Jeff moment of Jeff doing an imitation of his mother about why the other 3 people won't just work against Holly, Chase, and Sash. It's like, why don't Dan, like, Fabio works out for him, so whatever. But like, I just feel like at this point, like, for Dan especially, Dan should be in on this with Jane. Like, I don't understand, but it's Dan, so.
It's Dan, and as his character arc comes to an end next episode anyway, so it's just kind of like, I mean, placement wise, good for him, but it like you said though, it's like, why didn't they just like do something or work together? But it works out for Fabio though at the least.
Yeah, but this is a potentially game ending move if Fabio doesn't just keep winning immunity. But so then we have our finale. Dan is
I guess with that though, you also had the fact that Chase and Sash had an idol.
Right. That's true.
I mean, it's like a 33% chance then that they get it right.
That's true.
So that is a little bit harder, Jeff. But that's what I would say too on that. So it ended up working out.
I mean, I think Fabio at one point even offers Holly to go. Also, we didn't ask Holly this, but I did find it curious on the rewatch. Fabio was like, his reasoning for voting for Holly, he's just like, I'm ready for her to go. And just, I don't know, as if something happened between them. But
I feel like whenever there's like a rogue vote like that or something, there must be something that happened that like that they're not showing the audience kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just very odd to me. I wish we would have asked Holly that, but but I didn't remember this.
No, it's totally fine.
But so finale, I mean, Fabio's going to continue. Dan is going to go. His final words are pretty funny where he just like says, Holly, you're a crook. You should get your hands chopped off.
Out of nowhere one-liners.
Yeah, I don't know. Dan is an interesting character that will always be remembered, probably mostly for the giant chair, but
or the shoes.
Or the shoes. Probably shoes. All right, so then final immunity challenge is the coins on the sword, which is honestly a pretty cool little endurance challenge. They use it again, think blood versus water, but I like this one. So Fabio wins again, and now the three are now scrambling, and Holly is going to become our fallen angel, her redemption arc. I think Holly is probably one of the best characters of the season. I loved getting to talk to her. So
she probably definitely had she did have the biggest turnaround as a character and contestant on this season, and so the fact that she ended up doing well as she did is a testament to her.
And I think Chase Sash make the right decision here, because in that case of the final three, I think Holly wins pretty handedly.
Yeah, because they know her. Yeah,
people. Yeah, and the connection with the young people and the old people, and how much it was. It's like that mama Holly kind of thing with the young people. So I think she does take the vote.
I agree. I think Dan would have had a hard time voting, but I do think I honestly think Holly might win almost every single vote, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, so Holly's gonna go. We get to our final tribal council, and the highlights here. I have Marty's question of the Dumber Than a Bag of Hammers award.
For Chase,
for Chase.
That's crazy that he perceived he could have thrown that question to Fabio, right? I think he had some immense respect for Fabio at this point in the game, because he's you're a lot smarter than you give credit for, though. He's Chase, you're as dumb. It's he goes after Chase for the intelligence question, but it's I just liked their dynamic so much between Marty and Fabio that it felt like they got each other to an extent, but he doesn't even throw that question to Fabio. He just throws it straight to Chase, kind of thing.
I also think Chase does the best he can, not just this question, but Final Tribal in general. Obviously he wins some votes, but I think honestly he knows he's not going to get Marty's vote, so he might as well just throw the question back in his face and be Marty, you say you're ineligible. Well, I think it is you. I mean, because if he answers anybody else for that question, he's turning a jury vote away. So, I guess he could have said Dan, but
was this also the first ever all-male final three?
Yes. So Brian and Clay in Thailand was the first male final tribal council, but first male final three was this season.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just pulling up random stats at this point to be now that we're at the end of the season kind of thing. But again, with Chase, this, like I said earlier, this is he turned into a completely different character in the finale from what he's been perceived throughout the whole season. Now all of a sudden he's brimming with confidence, and he's oh yeah, I'm fucking Chase Rice.
Yeah.
It's oh shit, okay, I don't know who that other guy was, but this guy, if you were doing this the whole time, I'm I could see you're this ending differently.
Chase, how he handles Final Tribal, like you said, how he has at the reunion. Obviously he does one of his songs at the reunion, Buzz Back, or I think that's
that. I don't know country music.
I don't listen to country, Chase Rice's country music, but I probably should. I don't know. No, it was good. But that's basically what happens. Fabio also thought the votes, that he was pretty confident he had it won, but he was surprised when more Chase votes started coming up. You can kind of tell that he is actually surprised when Chase votes start coming out.
Yeah.
So
let's see about that, because it ended up being Holly, Jane, and Brenda.
And Alina.
So people basically close to his alliance, and even Jane at the end, fellow North Carolina, they still had that, even though she was mad at him, she still had that level, I guess, of a bond between the two of them. So basically it was people that were directly in his alliance for the longest time that he got the votes from. But Fabio ended up getting the win, though, and I know we've talked about how surprised he was that he didn't get all the votes, but I'm hey man, a win's a win. You ended up being the youngest winner to ever win the show. And I think he still holds that record, right?
Yeah, he was only a couple years younger than Jenna Maraska.
Yeah, he's 21 when he did it.
Crazy.
I I don't know. My other thing is like, again, the quitters basically are the reason Fabio won. Like, they probably shouldn't have been there, and it is just very odd because you would think Naonka hates Fabio, and then she votes for him, and she puts 420 on his voting parchment for him, and it's because her and Fabio just love talking about weed.
Oh, hey,
it's a great
look
look.
up, man. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, apparently that's enough reason to give $1 million to someone.
Hey, a win's a win.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's just, again, Fabio did play the social game enough, I guess, with both of them, despite the fighting, but obviously he took care of Purple Kelly, so I understand that vote. But also they didn't really show that either, so you're just kind of like, why did they vote for Fabio?
Yeah.
So, but all right, so 540 Fabio wins. So yeah, I think we're ready to hit our rankings. All right, the first boot rankings. So Wendy Joe's going to go on this list. The top 10 as they stand right now, it is Tina Wesson, All Stars, Sonia, Borneo, Johnny Fairplay, Micronesia, Sugar, Heroes vs. Villains, Chicken, Damn, China, Wanda Palau, Marisa, Samoa, Debbie in Australia, Diane, Africa, and Peter Harkey in his holes, Marquesas. That is the top 10, which I'm still confused by a few of them being there, but whatever. All right. Wendy Joe is second to last. She is 22. She did not crack the top 10.
Yeah, no.
Who's still in last?
Jim Lynch from Guatemala.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Poor Jim.
Yeah. I mean, Wendy Joe is probably one of the worst players in Survivor history. But
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like I only had her a bit higher just because she's a character, and at least I love characters, but I also wasn't gonna rank any characters super high either.
Hey, but apparently she's a good friend though.
Yeah. Apparently she doesn't have blisters on her feet, and nobody asked her age. So. All right. Then our Fallen Angel rankings, our top 10. Sari Fields, Micronesia, Rob Sesternino, Amazon, Jerry Manthe, Heroes vs. Villains, Kathy V.O., Marquesas, Rudy, Borneo, Yauman, Fiji, Lex, Africa, Terry Dietz, Panama, Ian Rosenberger, Palau, and Johnny Fairplay, Pearl Islands. Holly Hoffman. This is the biggest slight on this list, or on this episode. Holly Hoffman is second to last. He's only above Aaron Lobdell from Token Teens. And in my opinion, the panel that voted, I don't really understand your rationale, because the fact that Holly Hoffman is ranked worse than Jan Gentry from Thailand is just dumb.
Well, I think the reasoning behind that is probably because A, the overall negative reception of Nicaragua in general, and B, how she started in the game. Like, I think people remember like those two things most as like their first impression, but if like you actually like give it a chance and you see how her story progresses, you probably would rank her a little bit higher, or at least mid.
I'd put her mid. I mean, she has a good story. Her strategy in the season not full of a lot of strategy is still there. I mean, she connects with the younger tribe. She plays a great social game. I think she wins if she gets to the end.
She walked.
I would put her way higher.
She walked so Andy could run, kind of thing. You know, it's like one of those situations where it's like, oh, like she had to give her some like credit, you know. And I ranked her low originally because I didn't even go back for a rewatch. I just assumed, I just went off my original perception. But now that I went back and did, I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have ranked her that low. I probably should have ranked her like higher. But again, definitely seems like kind of a slight for placement.
Agreed. All right. Losing finalists. Our top 10. It is Boston Rob, All Stars, Parvati Shallow, Heroes vs. Villains, Russell Hance, Samoa, Stephen Fishback, Token Teens, Ozzy, Cook Islands, Colby, Australia, Amanda Kimmel, Micronesia, Kelly Wigglesworth, Borneo, Stephanie LaGrossa, Guatemala, and Russell Hance, Heroes vs. Villains. So, we have Chase Rice and Sash Lanahan. Sash did not crack the top 10. Sash ended up as 22nd of 28. So he is just below Becky from Cook Islands and above Cassandra from Fiji. So that's an interesting placement. I don't think I would have Sash that low, but But
I can't. Yeah, I can't come up with anything with Sash. I mean, I feel like Mortgagegate follows him
yeah,
wherever he goes, and it's like the perception of being like a goat, I guess, carried over with the people that were ranking his placement.
I guess so. Yeah. And then Chase Rice, the more interesting one. So I would have Chase probably a few spots outside of the top 10. But in full. But Chase, he ended up being 16th. He did not make the top 10. I think it's a bit of a slight here because he's below Kim Johnson from Africa, above Twyla from Vanuatu. I think Chase he should be above Kim Johnson, especially because he almost won the game. I mean,
and he had a pretty believable tribal council as well.
Yeah.
And so I think at this point people are getting lost in the weeds with how many, runner-ups and finalists we're having. And so it's like Chase and Sash, where to put them? It's like Sash probably on the lower end. Chase gets like a crisp thumbs up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Agreed. All right, we're almost done with the rankings. Winner rankings. We have Parvati Shallow, Micronesia at number 1, Todd Herzog, China, Yul Kwan, Cook Islands, Richard Hatch, Borneo, the Sandras at 5 and 6. Pearl Islands is above Heroes versus Villains. Tom Westman at number 7, Earl Cole 8, Chris Doherty 9, and JT 10. That is the top 10. Fabio did not crack the top 10. Fabio is the second worst winner. He is just above Natalie White.
I mean, I don't.
I don't know about that list in general, but I mean, Fabio is always on the lower ranking for winners, so I do understand that. And a lot of the winners below him are coming up later in some of the upcoming seasons. So I can see that for right now, him being there is kind of reasonable. The top 10 though might be a little rough, but we ain't talking about that right now.
Yeah, the panel of voters is a big question mark for
He's like, who did I give these questions to?
Yeah, I mean, if only some of these voters would actually talk about their rankings.
Yeah,
that's a call out to you guys. Let's talk about it.
Rankings, I would have put Todd at number 1 though.
Yeah, Todd is pretty high for me as well.
And Sandra a lot lower, but
Yeah, I was agreeing with that. But I think if we were talking about overall players, Sandra would be in the top 5 for sure. But all right, season rankings to close out the rankings. Top 10 seasons overall. Heroes versus Villains at number 1, Micronesia 2, Pearl Islands 3, China 4, Borneo 5, Cook Islands 6, Australian Outback 7, Tocantins 8, Marquesas 9, and Amazon 10. Nicaragua is now ranked as the worst season ever.
Gotta put it above Thailand, but
it is above Thailand for me, and I just think people just forgot this season existed, so they just put it as the worst.
I really feel like it's like guilty by association too, because I think this was the first, when this season came out in like 2010, I think this was the first like extreme season that acted this way, and I think people were just so like shocked by like what was happening that they completely forgot about like Thailand for a little bit. But when you like go back and like have a retrospective look, you're like, oh yeah, Thailand, like not good, but like not good in like a non-flashy way, and this is like bad in a flashy way kind of thing, if you want to rank Nicaragua that way. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
I mean, the double quit really cuts off any remaining momentum this season has at the very end, because I am wondering how the end game would have gone. I think the what if that Shane and I will definitely talk about is what if Naonka and Purple Kelly didn't quit, because I do think that makes the end game slightly more interesting.
That's a good what if.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a big thing for me. And then just like I feel like they just didn't cast this season. So
yeah, but it's the first time they go to Nicaragua.
Yes, the first time of 4 times. This is, I mean, at this point, we're going to places a lot more. So we're starting that trajectory.
We're starting to see more like, this isn't like the first repeat location, but we're starting to see like we're about to start dabbling into like the season themes and stuff like that. Like it's no longer like Survivor locations. It's about to become like Survivor theme kind of thing. So, but because this is a new location, they had to smack it on there. So
yeah. All right. Favorite male and female players. Male, I'm going with Marty. Yeah, Mr. Farty is definitely getting my top male spot. The chess grandmaster. He will never be forgotten by me, but clearly he probably will never play again. So, which is unfortunate. I think he should have, but I do think other players around this era definitely ended up taking his spot eventually. So
yeah.
And then women, I'll pick Holly because I think her redemption arc was really good, and not just because we talked to her, but I think she has a really solid arc for in a lot of like in this era of a lot of like fallen angels are kind of forgettable actually, and she's not. So, what about you guys?
Lucas, you can go.
Yeah, I'd say for a male, probably. I mean, Fabio. I mean, I like him. He's kind of aloof, but he is smart. I kind of relate to that. So I kind of like Fabio a lot in all of this male cast. I'm not as much of a Marty fan as you are. So I just think he's kind of kooky and a little too kooky for me. And then Jane just brings the humor. I think she has a great character arc. She gets lots of fights. I love that. I love a good fight on Survivor. So I'd have to say probably Jane on my females. Just there was a lot of not great females in this cast. I mean, I like Brenda too. She comes back, and I think that kind of leads me to like her a little bit more. But I would say probably my favorite female is probably Jane.
Yeah, good picks. Jonathan?
Yeah, I think I'm going to repeat Lucas. I will say also Fabio and Jane. Jane was very endearing to me throughout the whole time of the series or the season, and I enjoyed her a lot, especially because she was mainly like a straight shooter the whole time while all this chaos was going on. And I really do like Fabio. I like the fact that I thought he was like a dead man walking. Like as soon as the season started, like there's no way this goofball is gonna like do anything. And it's weird because he goes from like annoying to like also kind of like endearing when he's like left by himself. Like I think when like Chase didn't pick him to go on the reward, and you had like that moment where he's like, "You promised that you would take me," and it's like, "You actually," I felt that. I was like, "You promised me you were gonna do it, but you didn't." And I'm like, he seems like he's the type of guy that really values like a promise kind of thing, even though it was like kind of whatever. And then him growing into like this, he's winning challenges, he's winning immunities, and he's starting to become like this lone, long-haired golden figure that could win the whole thing. And then he's got like the goofball attitude at the end. And I think Marty voting for him was like, Marty gets him. A lot of people might not get him. I get him, but Marty also gets him as well. And I was like, good call. Good winner in my book, I think.
Yeah. All right. Last question. How did this season contribute to the evolution of Survivor as we know it?
Who wants to start?
Either one of you want to start?
Anyone? Okay. I'll do it. I know everyone's hold off there. I know everyone wants to say their piece first, but I guess I'll go. I think how did it affect? I think obviously we get more Sassy Jeff in full force. Like he's no longer like, I think at this point he is basically just like not my way or the highway, but I think he has no more tolerance for like, this is his tolerance breaker for like, okay, if this happens, X, like we're going straight to this point. The whole quitting thing, if you make it to the jury, and that's probably the big one, is like if you make it to the jury and you quit, there's no guarantee that you'll stay on the jury. At this point going forward, it's up to production if they want to keep you or not. Well, depending on what your reason for quitting is, kind of thing. Like if you make it to the jury and you get hurt and you have to leave, that's one thing. But if you just make it to the jury and you quit because you don't want to be there, now instead of keeping you there mandatorily, they can do whatever they want with you. They can send you home. They can do whatever. I think that's the big production takeaway, I think, from Nicaragua. And finally, this is a good season to look at from like a mentality perspective, like how Survivor can affect you mentally in the game. Like we gloss over a lot of things like, oh, it's just a game or whatever. But no, like it doesn't matter what format you play this game in, whether you're on a college campus or online, or you're doing it somewhere live in the woods, or you're actually going to Fiji. It's the one constant thing that stays the same is the being paranoid when there's nobody around, who's talking about me, and being alone with your thoughts. So it's a good season to just watch that unravel.
Lucas?
I think something that we haven't brought up is just the idols, and they make it more difficult to find the puzzles.
Yes.
I feel like we get a whole lot more sharing because of the puzzles of the idols, and that puts them out there a lot more, in my opinion. So I think there's something like if you were a player watching this before you went out, it could how to play with the idols and the puzzles in the idols. I think that was a big thing that we hadn't seen before up until this point. So that's one of those areas I think that kind of gets overlooked because the idols really didn't do anything down the line, but it was something. And I did see a note that production did try to make them harder after Russell finding all of the ones in Heroes versus Villains.
I did hear that too. Yeah. Thank you for bringing it up. But yeah, I would say those are definitely some great answers. I would say definitely starts the myth of the purple edit. I mean, we've kind of gotten purple edits before. We had CGI Brett and Samoa. We had purple edits early on in Survivor that people don't like to acknowledge, but people, I mean, look back at any early seasons, you'll have people that are very forgettable and don't do much. But this really starts that myth that people acknowledge this type of edit going forward. I do think obviously it leans into the themes now even more so because we're kicking off this era where that's their main focus rather than the locations. And I do think they kind of lean into casting these celebrities and these model actor types like so I do think that's more their focus. I mean, obviously we did have like, age gap, age division for this season, but we're going to see a lot of like, especially these Dark Age seasons, like it's a lot of young people. So
a lot of people. And like you were saying, though, we're starting to see people that like, oh, maybe there's a couple more celebrities that are playing, or a lot more people that fit this kind of model archetype or archetypal character going forward. And it's like there's just so many layers of like who knows who, like Chase Rice working on like a NASCAR pit crew that was like owned by Jimmy Johnson. It's like how many degrees of Kevin Bacon are we going here with like that people know each other? And so it's like we're starting to see that we're getting more and more detached from like that. We're just going to recruit completely random people that are obsessed with survival in the woods, and we're now casting deliberate characters.
Yeah, and casting people that shouldn't be there. But yeah, that is Nicaragua, and that is kicking off Volume 3. So the three of us next week we're continuing the Dark Ages because Shane is going to be joining the three of us next week to talk about Redemption Island and the finally the win for Boston Rob that Jeff Probst wanted. And
we did it, but I'll hold till next week for that.
Yeah. So we'll get to talk about that. We'll get to talk about Stealth Are Us and former federal agent Philip Shepard. And you may be wondering, what's your next interview? Well, we got Philip Shepard. We're talking to Philip Shepard for our next interview. He doesn't get on a lot of interviews. He doesn't watch the show anymore. So should be a very interesting interview to talk about his 2 seasons with him and kind of get his perspective on what happened. So I'm actually very excited for that. And Redemption Island is the first season that I ever watched completely live. And so I definitely have thoughts moving forward in this era as I became a fan. So I'm very excited. And then, I don't know, there's some pretty cringe characters next season too. So,
Yeah.
But we'll get there. So yeah, we'll see you all next week, but subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, and we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.